Hello everyone, it's Femola Pastor again, and today I'm going to be talking about the English Language Proficiency Test certificate. Most applications, most master's PhD applications will require you to provide this document. I know for most of the Erasmus programs, including some non-Erasmus programs, some graduate programs, they would always ask you for this, especially when you are applying to schools in the United Kingdom, Canada, the United States, and even some European countries. And most especially if the medium of instruction of the program will be in English. You are expected to demonstrate your proficiency in English language, and that is the essence of providing this certificate. And in most cases, a lot of applicants are always discouraged when they see this because it requires you to write one of these exams. It could be IELTS, it could be TOEFL or whatsoever. And sometimes they will specify the kind of exam they want you to write. And most times these exams can be quite expensive. And sometimes most applicants are discouraged from applying because of this English language proficiency test certificate. So that is the essence of making this video. Is it possible to apply without submitting or writing an English language proficiency test examination? The answer is yes. For me, it worked for me, and for some of my colleagues, it's worked for them. How did we go about this? That is the essence of this video. And please do not forget that this does not work every time. You need to go through the conditions carefully, and this is what I'm going to explain in details in the next part of this video, so stay tuned. Okay, now briefly I would quickly talk about the medium of instruction. This is a document. Now this is a very good example of the document I'm talking about. This was issued by the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. And you can also get this from your previous university. It's just about sending an email to them or making a request. Sometimes it might have a different name. So it's your responsibility to know. But sometimes you can just request for an English language proficiency certificate. Yeah, that's another name for it. In some institution, it's called the medium of instruction. And the most important part of this document is usually this part that states that you were taught and assessed in English language, which is the official language of the country and the medium of the instruction used in all other universities in the country. Now, and also it's also important to take note of the date in which the document was issued. It should be within 2 years because most of the English language proficiency tests are valid for 2 years. So I could remember that I got this document sometime in 2018. So when I wanted to make my application for the 2022 and 2023 academic section, I had to obtain a new medium of instruction certificate. Usually it's not always expensive. So you can just maybe write an email to your previous institution, or you go to their website to see if you have this option. So aside from this, like I said, it doesn't work in all cases. So you have to do your work by making sure you do your know what the program wants and know if this document would be sufficient to replace the English language proficiency test. And so I'm going to use some programs as an example, looking at their language test requirements to know whether this document can suffice or not. Now, let me start with this program here, cartography. Yeah, so let's go to under their English language proficiency section. You can see that you need to provide a proof of English proficiency by providing one of those exams and by having any of the minimum scores stated here. However, they stated here that you are considered to be proficient in English and you do not need to provide an English language test result score if you are a native English speaker. And being a native English speaker, they are not exclusive because in some situations they will list the countries that are considered, and in some cases they might not list it. And also they mentioned here that, okay, peradventure you studied in your previous university if it has been conducted in English. So in that case, you need an official certificate from the university confirming that the language of teaching was English. So in this case, the medium of instruction can suffice in this situation. It can suffice as far as it is stated on their website. So you can use this in place of the English language tests that were listed above. Now let's look at another program, the IMSOGLO program. Now on this section of their website, the application and admission, under the English language requirements, they were very, very clear about it, about the countries that are they said only if you have obtained. Now, okay, sorry, you have to submit an English language test certificate, and you have to have at least the minimum score have been stated, and they accept 3 kinds of English test exam, and they said the likes of Duolingo, the TOEIC would not be accepted. So you should know that. Now, in the case of the exemption, they've listed the countries that are they've listed the countries that can be exempted if you are from any of those countries. It's not just being from those countries. Your previous higher education must have been obtained from those countries. If not, you might be expected, or you are expected to provide an English language test certificate. So in the case of now coming back to the country listed here, you won't have to submit the test. All you just need to do is to provide an English language of instruction certificate issued and signed by your previous university, and the certificate should state clearly that the language of instruction during your previous degree was English. So you can see that also they mentioned something here, that the language of instruction certificates will not be accepted if you have obtained your degree in another country than the country listed above. I think that is clear enough. So also in this case, you can submit the English language certificate, English language proficiency certificate given to you by your institution. Also, I want to use another program, which is my program, as an example. Now, under their English language proficiency requirement, they only stated that the minimum requirement for non-native speakers are an IELTS score of 6.5 or TOEFL, or an equivalent approved by the JPB. Now, in this case now, they did not really state whether you can provide an alternative certificate in place of those tests, but they said something here very interesting. They said, or an equivalent approved by the JPB. So in that case, all you need to do is to send an email to the secretariat of the program to tell them your situation, tell them your country, tell them where you have studied, where you obtained your bachelor's degree from. So they will be in the position to know whether submitting such a certificate can suffice, can replace, or can stand in place of the English language test. And some programs will tell you that they have like a narrow list of countries that they exempt from submitting an English language proficiency test results. In that case, if your country is not listed, another program might list your country, and a certain program might not list it. So you have to do what is consistent with what your program of interest is asking for. If your country is not exempted, then in that case, you might have to provide necessarily or compulsorily provide an English language proficiency test result. So this is why I said most times, if you are not sure, you need to send an email to the program for clarification. And if you have, like the first 2 programs I showed you, it's clearly written. But if you are still in doubt, or you want to clear your doubt, you can as well still send an email to them. So this is time saving. If the certificate can suffice, it is time saving, and it's also save you the cost associated with writing some of these exams, which can be quite expensive, and they can be sometimes tricky. So thank you for listening. I hope you found this video useful. If you like this video and you like other people to benefit from it, you can share it, and don't forget to subscribe if you've not subscribed to this YouTube channel, because we have lots and lots more to offer you in the subsequent sections. Thank you for listening. Bye.